the importance of sticking to God's plan. Family, friends, and wise thinkers, today I want to remind you of something that has the power to change the course of your life forever. The importance of sticking to God's plan. We live in a world where everyone is chasing their own desires, their own ambitions, and their own way of doing things. But the truth is, no matter how smart, talented, or experienced we are, our wisdom can never match the wisdom of God. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This scripture reminds us that God has already designed a plan for each of us. His plan is not random. It is purposeful. It is filled with hope. It is for our good. But the challenge is this: are we willing to trust Him and stick to His plan, even when life gets tough? 1. God's plan protects you. Sometimes we think God's plan is delaying our blessings. We look at others and wonder why their lives seem to be moving faster. But let me tell you, God's timing is not denial, it is protection. Proverbs 16 verse 9 says, "In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." When you stick to His plan, you may not always understand it, but you can trust that He is guiding you away from harm and toward His best. 2. God's plan brings peace. Life outside of God's will is filled with confusion and frustration. You may have money, connections, or fame, but without His plan, there will always be emptiness. Isaiah 26 verse 3 says, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you." When you align with God's plan, peace becomes your portion, even when storms rage around you. 3. God's plan requires faith and obedience. Sticking to God's plan doesn't mean it will always be easy. Abraham had to leave his homeland without knowing exactly where he was going. Joseph had to go through betrayal, slavery, and prison before reaching the palace. Romans 8 verse 28 reminds us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Every trial you face on the path of God's plan is shaping you for something greater. 4. God's plan leads to true fulfillment. Many people chase after success without purpose, but God's plan gives you meaning. Jesus said in John 10 verse 10, "I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." Real life, real joy, and real fulfillment come only when you live in God's divine design. 5. God's plan impacts generations. Your obedience today doesn't just bless you, it blesses generations after you. Think of Abraham, Moses, Esther, Paul. Their lives, because they followed God's plan, influenced millions even after they were gone. Psalm 33 verse 11 says, "But the plans of the Lord stand firm forever, the purposes of His heart through all generations." Final word. Friends, sticking to God's plan is not always the easiest path, but it is always the best path. When you feel discouraged, remember that God's thoughts are higher than our thoughts, and His ways are higher than our ways. Isaiah 55 verses 8 to 9. So today I challenge you, trust Him, obey Him, wait on Him. Don't abandon God's plan just because it feels slow. Don't give up just because it feels hard. God is faithful to complete what He started in you. Stay in His will, and you will walk into your destiny with peace, joy, and fulfillment.